In my opinion, Super7 is one of the best toy companies out there. Pretty reasonably priced, great quality, and the absolute best packaging. My favorite series they do are the ReAction figures. There's so many different licenses that I love. And today I put together some concept art of some series and figures that I'd love to see Super7 do in the future. Starting off with none other than Beavis and Butthead. So far, all that Super7 has done for Beavis and Butthead is literally just Beavis and Butthead. Now, of course, there are also the Burger World versions, and Beavis as the Great Cornholio. But I'm telling you, boys, I would love to see a few other characters, like their neighbor Tom Anderson, their hippie teacher Mr. Drayson, that little nerd Stuart, Coach Buzzcut, and heck, I'd even love to see a few Beavis and Butthead reboot characters, like Old Beavis with one of his sons, and of course, Old Butthead with one of his sons.
Hey, look, kids, it's the Buttheads. We're here to kick your ass. Oh, cool. So glad we could get the families together, you know? Get him, son. Hey, can I get anybody anything?
Another series I think Super7 is absolutely killing it with is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That being said, there are still a couple on my list. And that list would include Slugworth with a everlasting gobstopper, that freeloading piece of shit, Grandpa Joe with his cane because he's bedridden, right? And lastly for Willy Wonka, I would love to see Augustus Gloop nearly drowning to death in the chocolate pipe. Now let's move on to a series called Halloween Kids. Some of you might be familiar with it, some of you maybe not. These are figures based off of kids dressed up trick-or-treating, and they're really cool. This first one I have here would be amazing, based off of a original Ben Cooper Halloween costume, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Wouldn't that be awesome? Few other monsters I would like to see is a zombie, a shark, not from Jaws or anything, just a generic shark. And uh-oh, watch out, Christian moms, I'm showing sympathy for the devil. Here's a couple money makers for you, Super7, just saying. Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, or if you're angry grandma,
Freddy Krueger.
And hey, why not some Sesame Street Halloween Kids too? For Series 1, you could have Big Bird, Chef Cookie Monster, Oscar the Grouch, Count Von Count, and Super Grover. For Series 2, you could have Ernie, Bert, Snuffy, Marshall Grover, and a honker. Speaking of Sesame Street, starting with one I really just cannot believe we haven't got yet, and that is Prairie Dawn. Same goes for Hairy Monster. How do we not have a Harry yet? And not only do I have him coming in his white and red striped swim trunks, but also his doll Hercules. Here's the amazing Mumford with his magic wand. And of course, the two-headed monster. How about this iconic duo, Biff and Sully? Gladys the cow? And try telling me this wouldn't be awesome, Bruno the Trash Man as a deluxe figure with an Oscar the Grouch pack-in. I know some people have also been wanting a Telly monster, but why not a figure of his prototype character, the Television Monster?
I'm glued.
I think this would be an awesome figure. Here's my all-time favorite growing up, Frazzle, who I have coming with a lollipop and his pet human Pickles, which is really weird and creepy.
Well, it's just not fair. What am I supposed to do? Leave little Pickles here home when I travel on business? Come, Pickles, we'll go to another hotel.
How about a Grover and Mr. Johnson 2-pack? And believe it or not, this would actually be the only regular Grover. We've had Super Grover, but this is the only normal one. And the last one for Sesame Street I have here is one that I think fans have been wanting since Series 1, but there's lots of licensing issues between Super7, Sesame Workshop, and Disney, and that is Kermit the Frog. I threw Little Bird in with him as well, but this figure probably would not be able to be made. The list of musicians I would like to see Super 7 make is so long that I had to narrow it down. But first, I have Kurt Cobain from Nirvana. Here's David Byrne from the Talking Heads, and yes, this is the once-in-a-lifetime music video version. And how about one of my favorite bands, the Red Hot Chili Peppers? And yes, the cards are based off of my favorite album. Gotta have Daryl Hall and John Oates as well. And for the Police, I got Sting, Andy Summers, and Stuart Copeland, aka the best drummer of all time. And the king of reggae himself, Bob Marley, and yep, he's token. And the last musician here is the late great Mark Gormley, a musician who let me just show you.
Little wings, can you make a fight? The rain is getting heavy, there's a storm tonight.
Yeah. I think Yo Gabba Gabba would be my dream wave for Super 7, and I think it's a pretty good possibility. Not only was Yo Gabba Gabba's art director Parker Jacobs a former Super 7 employee, but DJ Lance Rock to this day still does some commercials for Super 7. I think if they did a Yo Gabba Gabba line, Series 1 would have to include DJ Lance Rock with his boombox, Fufa with Mrs. Flower, and Plex with his keytar. Series 2, we could have Broby with Balloony, Tootie with an Oski bug, and Muno with none other than Archibald the Worm. Hey, nice taste! Series 3, maybe we could have Gooble with Spooky Toast, Foofle with a surfboard, and Barbara with an egg. Series 3, how about maybe Muno's family, starting with Bruno with a cactus, Uno with Baby Go-Go, and Chibo with a baby owl. If the line did well enough, I'd maybe even like to see the Yo Dazzlers. For Super 7's Frosty the Snowman wave, we only got Frosty the Snowman. So how about maybe Karen with Hocus Pocus, and Professor Hinkle with his hat.
Messy, messy, messy.
Talk about Dream Series, Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas has to be on there. We could get Emmett with his wash tub, Alice or Ma Otter, Golly, Wendell with his jug, Harvey with his washboard, Charlie with his cigar box banjo, Doc Bullfrog, Chuck with catfish, Stan Weasel and Howard Snake, and lastly Fred Lizard with an acrobatic squirrel. I'd also like to see some more Peanuts ones, including Linus, Schroeder, Peppermint Patty, Marcy, Pigpen, and even Woodstock. Now on to our last chapter. And for the last chapter of the video, we have mascots, starting with the Little Caesars Pizza guy, the Tootsie Pop Owl. Anyone here familiar with Chuck E. Cheese? Well, before that, there was something way cooler. And that is Showbiz Pizza. What if we got Showbiz Pizza figures, including Billy Bob, Fats, and Mitzi Mozzarella? I'd also sort of like to see the Nesquik Bunny. I usually try to avoid him, but I would love a Super 7 reaction figure of the Noid from Domino's Pizza, the Geico Gecko, and hey, while we're talking about insurance, why not Flo and Jamie from Progressive? And this last figure of the day, well, it's really swell. It's a little figure with a big story to tell. And that is the original Jardiance lady. I know there's been like 20 different ones. The original Jardiance lady. Yeah. Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, that's just about all I have for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully Super 7 may or may not have caught on to it, and hopefully a few of these figures do end up getting made. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Hey, gonna get anybody anything?